Me too.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Grunkest Show in social media history. I want to welcome you back to another episode of the War Zone. I got my co-hosts in the building, Donovan Sadiq, Demetra K, and tonight, all you single moms that ain't got nothing to do, we got somebody on here gonna teach you how to start your own business. All that faking that's going on about the pandemic, oh, I can't make no money. No, we ain't having it tonight. Got our special guest, Corliss Johnson, in the building with Big Mama's Collection. We finna find out. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the War Zone. I want to say how you doing. Y'all gonna have to bear with me today. Today's been a slow boogie day for me because I've been in the bed all day. Not feeling very well, but that's okay because we got what we got to do. We got to do sometimes when you're not feeling well. And I hear people all the time talking about the Republicans and I can't make money and different things like that. Well, I always believed in the spirit of entrepreneurship. That's something I always taught my kids, and I always believed in entrepreneurship. Well, tonight you're gonna meet a true entrepreneur. You're going to meet a true entrepreneur tonight who did it on her own. She did it on her own. So I'm gonna turn this over to Demetra K, and you can introduce our guest.
Hello, everybody. And just really quick, Gary, I'm looking on my phone, and I don't see you, but I see everybody else. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, so welcome to Miss Corliss Johnson, who is the creator of Big Mama's Collection. And let me tell you how I actually ended up getting to know her a little bit better. So she sent me, I think you sent me a commercial or something. Not a commercial, Tabitha Brown. So Tabitha Brown, for you guys who lived under a rock in the last couple of months, Tabitha Brown is this big time internet sensation vegan, right? In the last 2 months or so, she's gained over 1 million subscribers. And so she happened to feature Miss Johnson's sauce, the watermelon sauce. So I had to have it. I ordered it. And let me tell you something. I have been cooking with it every day. Like I got about that much left. And Donovan has been wanting some of it, but I'm like, you can't have none. None of mine. So anyway, she also has a couple other sauces. You have brown sugar. You have the watermelon. And sounds like she's working on several other things within her Big Mama's Collection. So Corliss, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired Big Mama's Collection and who is Big Mama?
Hi guys. So I am Corliss Johnson. I am a single mom. I have 7 children. They range anywhere from 28 to 16. How we came about Big Mama. Big Mama is my great grandmother. It's my on my mom's side. And always, Big Mama, that's what she does. She cooks. So I was blessed to have great grandmothers that cooked on both sides. My dad's mother was actually a restaurant owner, and she cooked for a living. That's what she did. And we just know the rest with Big Mama. They knew all things, I guess you could say. How I came up with this sauce, I started off playing with watermelons. I'm sorry. I started off with one sauce, and it was strawberries and raspberries. And that's the one it's called Darker the Berry. And I created that. I did it for a final when I went to culinary school. And the chef told me that was the best sauce he had ever tasted in 25 years of him cooking. So I wound up leaving culinary school, and I went to sleep one night and I had a dream. And that's how the watermelon sauce came to life. I got up the next morning and I did what I saw in the dream, and my daughter told me to take it to the radio station and the rest was history.
So which sauce, because we were speaking before we came on here, which sauce took you 17 years to make? Is that the watermelon sauce that took you 17
I've been doing the watermelon sauce for 17 years. Just making it out. It's like you get a vision to do something and you think it'll happen like right away, but life happens. Like I told Donovan, life happens. And, with 7 kids, my kids always came first. So I did it as a hobby, but when I first put it out there, the takeoff was so overwhelming that I wind up being afraid to continue on because I was afraid of, what may happen. Some people are afraid of what do you say? I can't even think of the word that I'm looking for, but they're afraid of stardom. They're afraid of becoming wealthy. They're afraid of leaving what they're used to knowing and what you're secure in doing for, your whole life. So I never stepped out.
And it's funny you say that because a lot of people are afraid of success. A lot of people, like you said, get right there and then they just can't. It's just too much for them to fathom and go back to their comfort zone, whatever that comfort zone is. And so what finally made you say, you know what? It's either do or die at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and just go for the gusto. What was that moment and what was that moment like?
My son came into my room and we were sitting down talking. It's my youngest son. And he's my biggest cheerleader. I'm sorry, I get kind of emotional.
Take your time, sister. Take your time.
But he told me, he said, Mom, he said, you have all these great ideas. You always start and you never finish. So he said, I'm afraid that, you'll never finish your dreams. He said, and that's the thing that I'm most afraid of. So the sauce had been sitting over in a box with the labels on them for about 5 months. And when he said that, I went back and I remembered that Tabitha had given out her address. And what she promised to do like last year in July was to help small business owners, and put them out there. The sauce originally was not vegan. Okay. I didn't create the vegan edition of the sauces until last year. So I created the vegan line and I put it in the mail. And I didn't even know that she had actually used it in her video until people started inboxing me. Yeah.
So let me ask a question. You can use this sauce on. See, the thing is about sauces and different things. Like me, I'm really really picky when but I'm hearing that you can use this sauce on regular food like chicken and fish. You can even use it on your salads. What can you actually say? I get the watermelon sauce if that's my favorite because you have multiple ones. And what can I actually use it on?
It's universal. You can use it on anything. When I originally created the sauce, it was broken down into 3 parts. It was a marinade, it was the sauce, and then I created a vinaigrette. So that's why I was telling Demetria that you can add the apple cider vinegar and like avocado oil or canola oil or whatever oil of your choice. Shake it up and then you can put it on a salad. You can eat it on anything. You do dipping sauces, egg rolls, steak. I've used it for a stir fry. Anything.
Now I've tried the watermelon and I tried the other one. What's the other one?
Brown sugar bay.
The one that say y'all. If you're looking for some sauce that's some dope to get you hooked like crack, the brown sugar. I'm trying to tell you, man. I need all my calories, man, and I put it on everything. I put it on everything, and I mean, think about it. You can't put blue cheese dressing on everything. You can't put barbecue sauce on everything, but you can put this sauce, these different sauces from a black-owned entrepreneur. Now we talk about spending our money with the black-owned people. You just found something. But that brown sugar, babe, say, man, I'm telling y'all what it is, man. It's real. Go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah, I have a question. Now you got 7 children. How many of them are girls?
4 girls, 3 boys.
4 girls, 3 boys. So I know all 7 of them can burn.
I won't.
All right.
I won't say
Maybe they're on the
all
business
7
side of it. Yeah.
more so. They
Okay.
leave it to me to cook everything.
Right. Okay. So, business wise, Demetra and I always say this, and I'm sure Jerry says it too. The biggest problem as Black people that we have is we don't start. And we say it all the time, start where you are. So, time has gone by, things have happened, whatever, now, you perfected the sauce. It's out there. I mean, if people are picking it up, I'm sure you've patented it, you've done your little side thing that you need to protect yourself. So from here, what's the goal moving forward? Are you going to, expand this to be more marketable in different markets?
Absolutely. Before, when I was making it, it went international. So I know what the capabilities are. I know that the shelf life is 2 years. So it's like I've done my research. You have to, and people always say money is an issue. And a lot of times it is. But what I can tell you is this pandemic has been the best thing that has happened for a lot of people, because it gives you the option to start where you are, and people are willing to help you where you are right now.
Absolutely. Let me do a follow-up real quick, because, like certain stores like Walmart, Target, they have a program where entrepreneurs like yourself could take that product and you could market it at their stores. So, that would be awesome, because we know a lot of us shop at Walmart and do all those other things. But to make all the money yourself, Big Mama's Collection is something I'm going to go. I told my mom about it after I got off the phone with you earlier today. And my mom was like, well, I got to taste it myself, because, I got my preserves. The competition comes out. So you got to get ready.
It was funny because I just, once Tabitha, put it on her page, I had this one lady, and I just swore, I was like, oh my God. It's like, I felt like, she was going to eat me up some kind of way. But she wound up being really helpful. And she told me that she had purchased watermelon sauce from another company before. And she said, oh, it was lumpy. She said it was sweet. It was spicy. It was good. She said, but nothing compared to what you have in that bottle. She said, and I don't care what anybody says. She said, that is the best thing that I've ever tasted. So I know that the product is good. I stand firm in, the quality of my product. I will not put it out unless it's right. So I've thrown out many batches because it just wasn't up to my standard. And that's what you have to, hold to. People are going to say a lot of things, but I like food. I'm a foodie. So, I just have to do what's best. My goal is to get it into Target would be my number one. Walmart would be for other reasons. I'll tell you guys about that later. But, Walmart, they hold a lot of products. They would be last on my list, but Target would be my first.
And I want to say this. I have personally tasted the sauce, and I'm telling you guys, I said this before, I use it every day. So I'm a witness that it is the truth. And I am using the watermelon sauce at this moment, but I do want to get the brown sugar one next. But I want to go back to something you said in regards to unfulfilled dreams. Les Brown, you guys probably have all heard of him. Inspirational, motivational speakers, spoke all over the world. And he said that the graveyard is probably one of the wealthiest places on the planet, because that's where all the dreams, the goals, everything you mentioned people have just died with those things. And so I don't think people really understand how important it is to just do it. You know, just like not put all those, you know, your fears in your head. I mean, everybody has fears, right? But there's got to be something. Like, you have to dig deep and just figure out what it is that will get you going. And I don't think a lot of people realize it's not going, whatever motivates that person is not going to motivate you. Everybody has to find like a why. And so I'm just, you know, really inspired by your story, and not even because you have the 7 kids, because there's people with no kids that aren't going to bust,
right.
you know, and they got a, you know, bunch of inventions and all kinds of stuff. They're not going to bust a grape. So like I said, I'm inspired by you because, to your point, especially during this time, there should be all kind of inventions, you know, going forward, and ideas and businesses. And unfortunately, a lot of people won't do it. And so, you know, I just wanted to say, you know, my hat's off to you for going towards your goals and your dreams. And I know for a fact, I'm speaking this into existence for you, that you are going to go global with this sauce, because I'm telling you, it is the truth. I would not lie to you guys. It is the truth.
Let me just say this to some people.
I'm gonna ask you this. So just bear with me. I'm gonna ask you this, because, you know, and a lot of people, then you getting all favorable comments. You have a lot of people that right now they're going to the site as we speak. They're trying to order as we speak. Now, being a Black-owned business, a lot of times, you know, we spend our money with the Black folk. And then when we spend our money with these Black folk, it's something else. It's something else. I mean, either they can't deliver, or they take forever to get it to us. What's your turnaround time when somebody orders from you, and how fast can they get their product?
Normally within a couple of days, now that I've gotten all the orders under control. 1 or 2 days. If we get the order in like this afternoon or this evening, the order should be out by tomorrow by 12:30 to the post office. I don't deliver to anyone but the post office. They all have tracking numbers, so we can keep a track of the orders.
And at the moment, I mean, I've done some research. I don't find any unfavorable replies about the sauce, about the company, about the service, or anything. So y'all that's sleeping on this Black-owned business, don't sleep on it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, like I said before, and I'm big on that. I'm very picky when it comes to my food. I'm very, very picky. But to find a sauce that I can put on almost any meal that I choose to, it's unheard of. It's unheard of. I love the watermelon, but the brown sugar, say I love them, but that's my favorite. And I don't think that you guys can beat it, especially you guys that are on the vegan blast. Think about it. Who does that? Who does that? She got it in the house with her in California already. It's not a game, bro. It's not a game.
Wait. I think Demetra pulled it out of her safe. I think that came out of the safe because she.
I want to tell her though, because so if she can see this, Janelle Dunn just ordered hers already while we're online. See, that's what I'm talking about, supporting your Black-owned businesses, man. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all need to spread the word, because it don't get no better than this, man. It don't get no better than this. So, you know, you want to get it in the Target. I know, and this is what you haven't. I don't know if you've done it or whatever. I mean, have you won awards for this sauce? You did a competition. Have you won awards for this sauce? Tell us about that.
I actually gave it to one of my friends, and what he did was I marinated the ribs in the sauce after I seasoned them overnight.
Hold on a second. Hold on. People are trying to order. They said the site says everything but the vegan watermelon is out of stock. Is that correct?
No, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll open it up for the regular sauce.
Okay, so she has everything, y'all. But back to what you were saying about the awards.
I seasoned the ribs the night before, and I used the papaya and the watermelon sauce and mixed them together. And it was a friend of mine, her husband actually took the ribs and entered them into a contest, and I didn't know that's what he was doing. So we wind up coming in first place, and we won a substantial amount of money. And then I've taken it out to Florida, and we've done, stuff out in Florida as well. And it sells itself. When I went to Florida, one of the guys asked me, he said, how much are you selling the sauce for? And I told him, bless you. I told him $15. He said, $15? Well, what am I going to get for that? Am I going to love you after I get this bottle? So I told him I sent them over to the booth, and I told him to give him a sample, and he wound up buying 4 bottles. And he's still a friend of mine, still to this day. But what I want to tell people is too, people are afraid to leave.
Did Madam C.J. Walker inspire you in any way from the entrepreneur standpoint of it?
That's my girl.
Is this thing freezing or? Oh man, this is ugly today.
Freezing a little bit.
She has a big influence over my life, because I used to be a hairstylist as well. So she's always been somebody that I looked up to. We all read about her, but I saw me in her. I actually did a shirt when I was doing the sauce, and it was pictures of us side by side when I was younger, and favor each other a little bit. But I've always loved her. But I do want to say this to your audience. I know that a lot of people, have family and they share their dreams with their families. But when your family may see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And that's another reason why you're afraid to, step forward and live out your dreams or whatever, because you're afraid of what your family thinks. But your family and friends that you really think are your friends, a lot of them are dream killers. Because I had a lot of people tell me that I was crazy. Okay, this is not the only dream that I have. It's probably about 1 out of 15. But I know that this one will supply the money source to fund all the rest of the businesses that I have. So just be very careful who you share your dreams with, because, like I said, people don't pray for you; they pray on you, and you just have to be very careful.
Well, they often say another reason why Black people's dreams never get off the ground is, once again, when you're at the bottom of the economic scale and there's no money. And then when it's time to come together, let's say I come from a big family. I literally can tell you, my dad is the second oldest of 22. Same mother, same father. My mom's the oldest of 12. I can literally tell you, with 22 brothers and sisters, if everybody just donated $100, that's $2,200. I mean, you can get something going. And for some reason, for all these relatives that we have, we can't come together and say, hey, she's got a dream. Let's invest in that dream, get it off the ground. She'll sell us some stock back to it, or we'll have a interest in it, and we all benefit from it. And it's just a shame. But where you're at right now, everything costs money. We know that. So basically, the buying part of it and stuff. Are you looking for any investors or anything like that?
I have had people approach me to invest, but I have to be very careful in how I tread. You have to be very careful, because everybody is just not to be trusted. Some people have other motives. Would I consider an investor? Yes, but we would have to sit down with attorneys and stuff like that.
Now, I see some people are kind of getting tripped up on the term vegan. Can you explain to them what makes your sauce vegan?
Okay, so let me explain something to a lot of you guys that are looking. Vegan means no meat products, okay? And I'll tell you what I did. I created the vegan sauce, okay? My kids' pediatrician have been buying the sauce since I've been making it. And when I made it vegan, the label said vegan. She did not pay attention, okay? So when she tried the sauce, it tastes identical to the regular sauce. It just doesn't have a meat product in it. That's all. When I created the original, it had chicken in it. So on the vegan side, it's all plant based, which is what it is pretty much anyway. There's only one key ingredient that would take it from vegan to non-vegan. But they both taste identical. I had one of my, she called me and she told me, she said, my mom is not vegan. She said, but girl, she poured it on some chicken and honey, she said, oh, it gave me life. So the sauce, like I said, it tastes totally identical. It's the same recipe. Just one thing is altered that makes it vegan. So vegan is not bad, guys. I'll say this, vegan ain't nasty.
And the reason why I wanted you to clarify that too, because as I told you guys, I've been vegan for, going on 7 years now. And so, and Donovan's working on it. He's conforming to veganism. So, but a lot of times when I tell people I'm vegan or I've made something vegan, I don't want no vegan. That sounds nasty. I'm like, it just doesn't have any animal product at all. And nothing. An apple is vegan. A carrot is vegan. So it's just the absence of anything related to an animal that makes it vegan. And that was for me the selling point, because to your point, there's a lot of sauces vegans can't eat because it does have some sort of an animal derivative in there. And so I just wanted to let people know that you can go ahead and order the sauce. Vegan is good for you.
Definitely. Now, you're originally from where?
I was born in Missouri. I left Missouri at 11 years old, and I was raised in California from 11 to 32. And now I'm here in Texas.
All right. Now, let me ask you this, for somebody that's, from California to Texas, is there a difference in the culture, like how things are done there versus here? And, you know what I mean?
No, it's just a little bit slower.
Right. But I mean, the aspect of how they cook things. I mean, is there, because California, they'll let you starve out here. If you can't cook, you're just done. You're just done. So.
Well, look, I don't know. I could cook. I don't know, Donovan. I could cook. I've always known how to cook. It started very young. So, I mean, I think this is the most people have probably cooked since the pandemic, because everybody is fast food.
Samuel wants to know, is there any soy in the sauce? Not soy.
No, I don't use any soy products. It is an all natural, non-preservative sauce. I don't use any preservatives. Everything is all natural, and it's non-GMO. So if anybody doesn't know what that means, it's genetically modified. I don't use anything that's genetically modified, and pretty much everything that I use is organic.
I mean, it really is. Maybe I'll make a commercial or something. I don't know. Get you a bottle. You won't be sorry.
Well, I want to tell you something. We're very proud of you as an entrepreneur. I mean, from that standpoint, to give up on the 40-40-40 plan, working 40 hours a week for 40 years to get 40% of what you made, you're showing people that you don't have to do that. I mean, you can take what you know sometimes. And this is how entrepreneurs start. They take what they know and they run with it. And to get out of your shell, to come out that shell is the hardest thing.
It is.
To just try and do something, because you don't want to fail. But I always tell people, when you're starting a business, it's okay to fail, because you need to make mistakes so you can know what not to do. So from me being an entrepreneurship to you, for me being an entrepreneur to you, who's an entrepreneur, man, I got nothing but love for you. Proud of you for what you're doing. But I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on these sauces, man. People already ordering them. We need to let you go so you can go open up this site, because you got about maybe 50 orders that these people want right now. You feel what I'm saying? But you're welcome to come back to the War Zone whenever you get ready. Let us know how it's going. If you develop new sauces, let us know. Because, I mean, people want to try. I want to try something different every day, me. I need
real quick
to dip my McNuggets in.
real quick. Melvina Cooks asked, "Can you use this on seafood?" So would this be a good dip?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And chicken nuggets aren't vegan.
No, you need chicken nuggets.
Yeah, chicken nuggets, man. Chicken nuggets, baby. Chicken nuggets. But thank you for coming on. We got another guest about to come on, y'all. But anytime you get ready, you can come back to the War Zone, reach out to us, especially if you develop more sauces. That doesn't have to be the reason that you show up. But man, keep us in the loop how it's going. And we're definitely going to promote your product on the War Zone because you need to go. You got about 50 orders. I'm telling you. You got about 50 orders right now.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much.
Now, Demetra, you better put some water in that jar or something. I need some flavor, something.
I'm gonna give you some more.
Hey, I see this man pop up on the screen, and it's about to get interesting, y'all. It's a good friend of mine. Been a friend of mine for a long, long time. Coached Little League football with him many moons ago. But this is a guy that thinks outside the box when it comes to Black America, and he might piss a couple of y'all off tonight because he gonna keep it 100. He asked a question the other day on Facebook, and I was looking at it, and I was like, he say, "Man, can you ask that on the show?" No, why don't you come ask it on the show? If you remember, and his name is Terry Hayes. If you remember, Terry, what the question is, repeat that question that you asked.
All right. First of all, I'd like to say I'm really honored to be on you guys' show. I follow you guys just about every day. So, I mean, I'm always catching up. Me and my wife watched you guys the other day, and it was her first time watching it, and she was really amazed. I think you guys are doing some great things. I can see you guys going nationwide pretty soon with your show because you're really doing some really great things, and you're opening up a lot of people's eyes. So with that, I just want to give my little appreciation to what you guys are doing. And thank you for everything you're doing for the Black community. With that, I'll say my question was, what is wrong with the Black community and can we fix it? That was the question that I had. And I asked Mr. Monroe to come on, and I said, what do you think? Would you put it on your show? And he said, no, you bring it to the show and bring it up. And we talked about it. You know, we chopped it up for a good minute. Like you said, we've known each other for more than 30 years. We chopped it up for a good minute, and we came up with a lot of things. And, you know, if you know Monroe like I know Monroe, the one thing he said was, I'm going to tell everybody why it can't be fixed. You know, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm asking them, how can we fix it? He said, it can't be fixed. You know, so what do you guys think? Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Donald.
Well, so if I understand this right, the question, and hello, how you doing, Terry?
How you doing?
So the question is, what is wrong with the Black community and can it be fixed?
Yeah.
I think we need like more than an hour here, right? No, seriously. There's a lot of things wrong with the Black community, but I would say the number one thing wrong with us as a community is that we have no love of self. As I always say, my friend Jonel Mohammed, I don't see him on here now, but he says, when you love something, you protect it. You do all you can to make sure it thrives. And so we as Black, like I might love myself, but I'm talking about a collective. We as Black people as a collective, we don't really love each other. Point in case is that we see about $1.3 trillion in our community every year, right? But we give 97% of that away. Yeah. Now, you love yourself. Do you do something like that to yourself? That's like getting a paycheck every Friday and tearing up 97% of that check and then just tossing it out to the wind. You couldn't possibly love yourself if you only leave yourself 3% to survive on. And so when you love something, you do what's necessary to make sure it is all that it can be, right? And another example I use is, let's say somebody comes to your house, you have a bunch of starving people in the house, your kids and everything, and somebody else comes and knocks on your door and they say, oh, well, I'm hungry. Give me your bread. All you got is bread. Like, give me your bread. Are you going to give it to them? And are you going to give them 97% of your bread? No, you're not going to do that because you need it for yourself and you love yourself more. Not to say that I don't love you, but I love myself more. So to me, that's the number one issue. The second one is we have no knowledge of self. We like really don't know who we are as a people. We're too busy trying to be everybody else, trying to acclimate to what everybody else is doing instead of just embracing who we are. I mean, I could go on forever. Now, can it be fixed? It can be fixed, but as I said the other day, I don't know if we'll see that in our lifetime. Like,
my daughter said something to me. She said, because I posed a question to her, and she said that we have no language, no culture, and basically, how do we recover from losing our language, our own culture? Because in America, we're supposed to be American, but we don't feel like we're American. You know, there's something I think that Malcolm X said a long time ago was just because you live in America, that don't make you an American. You know, so with that being said, she said that to me, and I said, well, our problem is a man-made problem, and if it's a man-made problem, we should be able to find a man-made solution.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Demetra made some good points, and Floyd has a comment, but I'm only gonna read a section of it. It says the black community can be fixed. We have no unity. I'm gonna stop right there because he has more, but I'm gonna stop right there. So we need to come together. Can you show me some data or something that can prove if we come together, it's gonna happen? Now, what I'm gonna make you do before you do that, you're gonna exclude the 60s because them people don't exist no more. That mentality does not exist anymore. So since that doesn't exist and that's over with, when is the last time we came together and we can prove that if we do, that it's gonna work? Because I'm gonna be honest with some of y'all. I'm not even trying to work with some of you Negroes, man. Y'all ain't right in no kind of way.
Well,
and all we can do is spend a lot of time spinning our wheels. Now, what we can do in my world, I can do what I can do on my side. You do what you do on your side. Oh, well, we still need to come together. You know what the problem is? I'm working and you ain't.
Well, I mean, the one thing we had different from now that we didn't have, that we had in the 60s, in the early 50s and in the 60s, was that we had leadership, or what we called leadership at the time.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You know, and we lost that leadership. And since then,
Donovan,
no one has really stepped up to the plate to be that national leader.
It's frozen.
We hear you still. We still hear you.
Yeah, we still hear you.
Go ahead, Donovan.
Well, the question was, what is wrong with the black community, and can it be fixed? Okay, I believe it can be fixed. Okay, once all the older baby boomer Negroes die off, we're gone, and all this other stuff. But let me digress my list here. Why right now we can't do it? We have a crab mentality. We engage in foolishness, craziness. We don't know our origins. You ever have wondered why the Africans come here? That's why they shouldn't get a check. And that's another reason why the Democrats won't give us a check, because everybody else is coming in saying, I should get a check. But notice when the Africans come here, they know who they are. They know where they come from. They know their traditions. Now, it isn't our fault in general because we're so mixed up here, but that's one of the problems why we can't come together. But we can come together for foolishness. We want to go get our hair and nails done. We go do that. We want to get those Jordans. We do that. Can it be fixed? I believe it can. It's just here's how you fix it. Give us our reparations because we have no wealth. When you're at the bottom of the economic scale in the United States, our biggest problem is wealth. This pandemic has shown us who the haves and the have-nots are. We're the have-nots. And because of that, I'm robbing and stealing you. You're robbing and stealing me. We're going to these jobs and putting our lives on the line. That's insanity. It could be fixed, but we need leaders, real leaders, not the 1960 folks, not our generation, because we're all retiring. We need progressive accountable to get reparations done. No excuses. Get it done. I don't care what you do with your $450,000 check annually for 25 years. That's you. Some of us are going to do the right thing with that. But when you have no wealth, it's not going to happen. We're not going to come together.
That's really interesting because I brought that question up too about reparations. And I said that even to Monroe. I said, right now, I don't think there's any amount of money that America can give us that we will be satisfied with as a people. I don't. I even posed the question because, as you know, America has a lot of territory. There are a lot of islands that they have that they're not using in the Pacific. I mean, even then I said, and I posed this to a couple of people one time. I said, take this. America gives all of Black America Alaska. Now, Alaska is the richest state, the biggest state we have with all the resources, land, oil, natural gas, minerals, animals. The only thing that is there, you're going to be up north. I said, but if they gave you, just said, look, we're tired of you crying about reparations and having your own nation. Go to Alaska. We'll give you Alaska. You can take all 40.3 million of you, move to Alaska, and we will give you $300 trillion to start your nation. Would you be happy with that? And all I got was negativity about it. Like, nah, it's too cold. Why can't we have Georgia? Why can't we have Florida? You know, why can't we? I said, why would you want your nation inside a nation? Because if you ask for a state inside of a nation, all they're going to do is keep you from doing everything you want to do. You will have to do all trade through them. Everything. So, I mean,
I don't think it would be a problem if they cut the check. If they gave us reparations and they cut the check. See, because I'm going to be the voice of reason on this program tonight. A whole bunch of you Negroes going to be broke in a week. You don't know how to act when you get the money, man. Look at that boy up in Atlanta, the reality star, then went got the loan for like $3 million to pay his workers. Took the money and went bought jewelry and cars with it. See, they ain't got, if they cut the check, it's cool for them. Because you're going to get the money right back. You're going to be broke in a week. Did we accomplish our goal? Hell no. They can give you the money and they can give me my 40 acres and a mule. That's what they do. And I'm dead serious about that.
But what if they gave you Alaska and then gave what we would call our government the $300 trillion? Could we actually divide that amongst the people?
But hold on, man. But hold on, man.
Yeah.
You talking about all of us in one place?
Yeah.
How long we gonna be there for somebody steal something? How long we gonna be there for somebody start jacking and doing all the craziness? I will go with the right set of Negroes, but some of y'all can't get on the bus. Because you ain't gonna act right.
But I mean, that would be a Black nation. I mean, it would be our nation. Whatever if you want to go Wakanda forever, I mean, there it is. You know, your own land. I mean, you'd have to deal with Canada as being your neighbor on one side and Russia on the other. You know, but you'd be able to make your own type of commerce. You know, you'd be able to do your own economy. And yeah, you're going to have some that don't agree and some that do agree, but you got to come up with some type of government.
Right, but what do we do
right now?
Right,
Errol
what
Jones
do we do?
said he's not interested in living in an all-Black nation. Diversity is cool, fair, respectful treatment is what we need. So you telling me, Errol, if we could live in an all-Black nation, our own Wakanda, you wouldn't do it? Demetra?
I mean, I was just sitting here just anticipating everything that everybody was saying. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit blown away because we're the only group of people, I would venture to say, that don't want to be bothered with each other. You go to, Koreatown, they getting along. Hispanics, they got their part of town and they getting along, but it's only us want to, nitpick. I don't want to live with them. I don't want to live with them. I mean, no group of people has everybody that acts right. Of course, there are people who are going to stray from the flock and do what they want to do. But what happened to back in the day? Because I'm sure they didn't have this big of an issue in Rosewood or Black Wall Street. What happened to the men that held people accountable? That's why we have lost control of our neighborhoods. We have lost the ability to police our own neighborhoods. And that's why you have these KKK ass police officers running roughshod through our neighborhoods, because the men in those neighborhoods don't want to stand up and do what they need to do. That's how you keep everybody in check, is by the men doing what men do. But I agree with you to some, degree, Gary. Marcus Garvey said it too. He said when they was trying to take Black people back to Africa, he said, no doubt there are some Negroes that are no good here and they're not going to be any good there. So there's some people you have to leave behind. But one thing I agree that we have to leave behind is our attitude of, I don't want to be with other Negroes. Because the fact of the matter is, don't nobody else want to be with us either. We're so busy trying to go be amongst everybody else instead of trying to fix what we have here. And that's why I said, I don't think we're going to see this fixed in my lifetime. Now, I'm only 49. I did say only 49. But I don't think we're going to see this completely fixed in my lifetime, because we need to change our attitudes. And until we do that, we're always going to, in fact, we're going to go even lower to the bottom.
Well, they're showing us right now. Like I said, this pandemic is actually showing you where the wealth is at. If you were sitting at home right now because your job laid you off and you're worried about the rent and your car payment, you're those people we're talking about. You're not going to make it. You're just not going to make it. And that's the truth of the matter, because they're not going to ask you back to that job. You don't see, I mean, I'm sure there's some white folks out there, a bunch of white folks out there, because they have a bigger population that is in the same boat. But overall, they have wealth. And when you have wealth, you have options.
True.
I mean, I don't have to stay here. I'll take my money. I'm heading back to South Africa. I'm heading to Nigeria. I'm going somewhere. Yeah. But when you have no wealth, you have no options.
And that is something.
Period.
That is something my daughter had said to me. She said we are actually a nation of consumers. She said we don't make anything.
Well, when you have wealth, you have options.
But she said, we don't make.
I mean, I don't have to stay here. I'll take my money. I'm heading back to South.
I'm hearing Donovan repeat himself again. But yeah, she said we don't have. We're a nation of consumers. We're spiritually, morally, financially, and economically weak. And because we don't have that strength, because we don't have that is one reason why white America will not pay us reparations. They don't fear us. We're not strong enough as a people. We're not unified as a people enough for them to even fear us, to say, okay, yeah, we need to give them this so they'll leave us alone. Give them Alaska, give them the money.
Well, when you have wealth,
yeah, she said we don't have financially and economically weak. And because we don't have that strength, because we don't have that is one reason why white America will not pay us reparations.
There you go. Let me just say this real quick. White America will not pay, or they're not interested in paying Black people reparations, because if they do, they know they don't have they wouldn't be inferior, if you will. They know we'll be equals if they level the playing field, financially, socially, and politically, as Dr. Claude Anderson talks about a lot. And so, Elijah Muhammad says, the master ain't going to give you equality. He's not going to give you what you need, because if he does that, then he's no longer the master. So there needs, in this society, there needs to be a master and there needs to be a servant or a slave. So that's the number one reason why they won't give it to us. But I agree with you and your daughter that they won't give it to us because we're not united on, what flavor peanuts we should eat.
Yeah, we're not a threat to them. They don't fear us at all. We're not.
He's not going to give you what you need, because if he does that, then he's no longer the master. So there needs in this society, there needs to be a master, there needs to be a servant or a slave. So that's the number one reason why they won't give it to us. But I agree with you and your daughter that Gary, we're not united on, what flavor peanuts we should eat. You know?
Yeah, we're not a threat.
Say that again.
I said we're not really a threat to them. I mean, because economically, socially, and you know, we're considered. We are the working class. You know,
Yeah.
and if they got rid of every immigrant in the United States tomorrow, who do you think they're going to look at to say, okay, we need somebody to go out and pick vegetables and fruit? I mean, if they get rid of them, I mean, right now, if you look at it right now,
because economically, socially, and
just destroyed because they have
we are the working class.
No one out there to pick fruit. No one out to pick vegetables.
And if they got rid of every immigrant in the United States tomorrow,
who do you think they're going to look
who
at?
do you think they're going to look at to say, okay, we need somebody to go out and pick vegetables and fruit? I mean, if they get rid of them, I mean, right now, if you look at it right now, because economic.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, because I'm fighting connection issues tonight. So y'all are freezing up. I can't see you, but you're still talking on my phone. I'd love to come together with some.
We can hear the feedback on the phone too, so it's kind of crossing over when people are talking.
Okay, well the phone is all the way off. If I go out, y'all just run it.
All right.
I can't. I'm in this thing for real. I do this every day, trying to help black folk. And some Negroes don't want no help. Some of them don't have a problem living where they live. Some of them don't have a problem going through what they're going through. Some of them don't give a damn how much the stimulus is, as long as it's some free money. They don't care. And you know, people want you need to be more positive, Monroe. Well, I was. So what happened? I became a realist. And I clearly get when we're on these forums, everybody's putting up the politically correct question as well as the politically correct answer. But yet we don't live by anything that we done put on these screens. A lot of us don't. A lot of us do. But the realization, us coming together, I don't see it. I just don't see it. We can't come together to go and fight for our kids at a we can't come together and go downtown and fight City Hall. But we talking about fighting for a whole race. It sound good. It sound good.
So when I say
don't mean it's gonna happen.
When I say can we fix it, I mean, do we even have a starting solution? You know, because my thing is, there's no reason why we can't solve the unsolvable. You know,
we have a starting solution. You know, the first order of business is we got to get some representation. Because if we got to fight this battle, we're gonna have to fight this battle in the government. We're gonna have to fight this in the state houses.
True.
Okay, if we ain't got nobody to go up in there to get it going, then what we gonna do? What we do then? See, that's where we ain't coming together. That's the first step for me. It may not be for you guys, but that's the first step for me. We got to get the right representation. But as we sit here and talk every night, we're trying to get it, and they stacking the deck against us to get the right representation. That's why I don't want anybody to miss Councilmember Eric Mays next week. Oh, you can't go in there and say anything. Well, he do. He in a battle down there in Flint, Michigan. You see what I'm saying? I mean, everybody wants you to be politically correct. You got to say the right thing. Monroe, you're too hard on them. Man, I know something right now going on in Houston. It'll shock all of y'all. But this the representation that we got.
Yeah.
We can't get our foot in the door to get it fixed.
So do we see anybody?
Y'all got it.
Do we see anybody today that we would say, okay, I could like maybe look at that person as a starting point as a leader?
They won't listen to him. No, they won't listen to him. We already got somebody. Dimitri, you know his name. We already got somebody. They won't listen to him.
Is it us as a people that won't listen to him? I mean, because we're talking about
make sure we don't listen to him.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about us. I mean, I mean, what is it with us that makes it like we can't trust each other enough? I mean, because that's where the
We
problem.
got a trust factor with us, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the real problem starts right there. You know, if I tell you something tomorrow that's a good investment, but you don't really know me that well. You're not even. I might be making a whole bunch of money, but you don't trust me enough to even go and do the research in it. I run that to a lot of people. You know, I sit at home every day, invest in myself, using my money. I make my money work for me and not me work for my money. But when
Donovan,
I tell people about
first of all, we need to become financially literate. So we need to become financially literate. We need to understand our money. And like you just said, I don't make money. I let my money make money.
Exactly.
When we start doing that, we're doing what the other ones are doing. Now, we need to go on a full-fledged mission to get these sucker sellout politicians out of office.
Yeah. But this is something I'd like to share too, because I have a friend that came to me and he said to me, you know, when I was like trying to figure out how to make money, he said, for the Black community to make money, you have to actually stop trying to reinvent the wheel. He said, if you want to make money like white people make money, then you have to start doing things that white people do to make their money. They don't reinvent the wheel.
Well, Errol said our first stage is bringing finances to the community. I don't believe that. The first stage is understanding what to do with your finances when you bring them to the community. Because if you bring $40 million to the Black community, we're going to burn $40 million in a week. We all up at the fish market with the food, man, with the money. Jordans, they'll go buy the whole Foot Locker out just to get the Jordans. If we don't know what to do with the money, it's defeating the purpose.
So how do we fix that?
You have to teach them financial literacy. So that is one of the hardest things, because I was in finances.
Yeah.
It is so hard to get Black people to sit down and learn about what their money is doing.
So that means that we go back to
they don't want to hear that. Go ahead, Donovan.
Well, you know, I understand the financial literacy part, but how the hell can you tell me all these people slanging all this rock and drugs in the community, which takes a math knowledge background, a logistics background, and all these numbers? So I think we already know what the mathematics part of it is, but I know what you're saying about investing here, going there, and doing this kind of stuff that I do. But the literacy part, I think it's conditioning us to have a priority of what to do with our money versus hair and nails when you don't know if this thing is going to last a year or two and if you're going to have any food. So, you know, when I see all these brothers out here on the corners doing what they do, I mean, these guys could run you numbers off the top of their head. So I just believe they know the numbers. It's just getting us conditioned to prioritize what is important within our community, within our families, so that we can start moving forward. Because you keep buying the $300 Jordans, you keep buying the $400 weave, the $90 nails, you keep doing that, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I see that. And I'm looking at Al Jackson's comment here. This must be bash Black people in the community episode today. No, I'm not trying to really bash anybody. I'm just asking a simple question. How do we move forward? I mean, I want to know how we move forward as a people, as a nation. You know, here we are. We've been looking at slavery now, and me and my wife was talking about it. Slavery was over with 155 years ago. How far have we progressed? You know,
why? The problem is, man.
And this is another thing. I'm like, if we are descendants of African kings and queens, why can't we conduct
this connection tonight is
kings and queens and become rich like African kings and queens and build our own nation? That's all I'm asking. I'm not bashing anybody.
Dr. Joyce DeGruy, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. She has a masterpiece. where she talks about post-traumatic slave syndrome, and that Black people, even to this day, we are not well. We still suffer the effects of slavery. It's just been passed down to us. And so a lot of times the behaviors that we engage in today are just things that have been taught to us. Like us going out and spending, $200 and $300 and $400 on purses and shoes and stuff. Those are symbols of letting white people and everybody else know, hey, we got it, we can have it too. So it's a conditioning. So we have to, like this forum tonight is a great way to educate people, because a lot of people probably just really don't realize what they're doing. They probably just think, well, I got the money, I don't see a problem with me going to have these nice things, instead of, let's use this money to build. Maybe no one's ever really had that in-depth conversation. A lot of times when we were talking to each other, we're talking at each other. Black people this, Black people that, niggas this, and and they all this other stuff, instead of saying, hey, brother, did you know? Hey, sister, can I talk to you for a minute? You know what I mean? Like we gotta start talking to each other in love. And I don't think what we're doing is bashing Black people either. I think we're having a good spirited dialogue to try to figure out what can be done.
I agree with you, because I read something a while back where it said in our community that poverty was passed down. It was taught to us. Middle class was taught to us that, and with our super ego is that to get rich, we have to go out and get a job, get a good education, and make a whole bunch of money. That's the only way we're gonna get rich, And I'm looking at, that like, well, yeah, but I always saw it that when I looked at when things was hard growing up as a kid, because I'm originally from Sunnyside, so I know what poverty was like, But I mean, when I looked at things as hard, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull my bootstraps up, I'm gonna get my education, and I'm moving on. So yeah, I was raised in poverty, but I don't think that's the end all to be all. And that's why we need this conversation. I think we need to have a lot of conversations like this to say, okay, where are we going as a nation? Where are we going as a people? What do we want?
And Earl, he actually made a good point about the SWOT analysis. I think we do need to do a big, giant SWOT analysis on us as Black people. What are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and our threats? Once we really realize what those are, then I think we can start, right? But we as a people, we're not lost as what to do. We talk about all the time how we've had plenty of blueprints laid before us. Marcus Garvey, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Message to the Black Man in America, Dr. Claude Anderson, the Nation of Islam and the Farrakhan. So there's a lot of blueprints. It's just, which one do we want to follow? And I always, when I hear about Black leadership, the next question I want to know is, well, who's the leader of white people? Who's the leader of Mexicans? Yeah. And so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Like, why is it that we're crippled unless we have a leader?
Well, I can say this. With what's going on today and us being at the bottom of this economic system for over 300 years, if we do not change our trajectory, we are less than 12 years away from being a slave.
Yeah.
So everybody that's sitting at home, turn off the Basketball Wives, watch a few episodes, turn off the MTV, whatever it is, Atlanta Housewives and stuff, and start. It's just like that billionaire we had on the show a couple of days ago said, open a book, start reading different things and open your mind so you come up with an idea of how to get from the bottom and start moving toward the top.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it goes right back to what we said earlier too, our trust and our respect issues. Because I'm a product of the '60s. I was born in '61, so I know what it's like to walk the streets, because I lived in Third Ward on Arbor Street. I went to Turner Elementary School, Old Turner. I remember white people throwing stuff at me, throwing rocks at me and calling me the N-word. So I know what the '60s was like. I grew up in the '70s. I know what that's like. And I know how different it was back then when we moved to Sunnyside. and there were a black community that had their own stores. There was a fish market, there was corner stores, there was a candy store, there was a cookie store, all owned by black, people in the neighborhood. I lived on the street, Corinne Street, where from one block to the end, from one block to the end of the block was all my family that had moved up from Arcola, Texas. So I know what a family unit in a black community can be, but somehow between me going in the military and coming home, I come back and it's like a totally different atmosphere. We don't respect our women. We don't, it's almost better to be a baby mama and a baby daddy than to be a husband and a father. And I just don't understand that. I have sons, I have daughters, and I talk to them every day about what you should be looking for in a good man and in a good woman. I've been with the same woman for almost 3 decades, and I truly believe in family, but I also want the black community to believe in family, because I think we've destroyed our family unit, the unity of the black family based on just our mentality, the things that we've been doing, how we've been handling things. You hear it in our music. People say, what's our culture? I ask everybody every day, what's our culture? What is the black agenda? What is the true black agenda that we're trying to achieve?
I would say, I don't think, definitely indeed, our family unit was destroyed, but we didn't do that. They did that, and then just take perfect example. If you want to move it to modern day during this election season, one of the people who are running for president, Joe Biden, he was one of the authors of the crime bills that helped destroy black families. So I don't think it was us that did that. Hell, our families were destroyed since slavery. We, had a rebound a little bit after slavery and things like that. But I like the fact that you did touch upon that, because you talk about unity, but until we're unified as men and women, we're never going to make it. You can log on Facebook any given time of the day and see black men and women bashing each other. So I agree with you. Until our family is intact, and like you said, stop making mamas and start making different wives and all of that, we're always going to struggle.
You've been kind of quiet there, Dr. Monroe.
I'm having connection issues. I think you guys are fine. So I'm been over here battling just to keep y'all up. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man.
I think we lost him there again.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, just until he comes back. It could be fixed, but we just got to put the work in. We just have to say enough of the nonsense, and let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you.
Every day somebody trying to new.
Lost him again. I have a question.
I just don't have the energy some days for it.
Can anybody?
I just don't. I'm not the Tuskegee experiment. I don't have the energy.
Can anybody really define what the black agenda is going into this year?
We've done that. The question is why we ain't doing nothing with it.
Okay.
We've had a black agenda for 60 years, easily, and before that.
But do we know what it is as a combined whole? Because some people know. Like we know what the black agenda should be.
Hold on, Errol Jones. Hold on. You all are dead in the issues. If you really want to do something, call me. No, I don't have to call you. Let me get something straight with y'all. My life. I know how to wake up every morning and be a black man. But what I don't have time to do is put up with some of these niggas' conspiracies. I ain't got time to fuck around with y'all, man. Every time you look up, somebody got a new experiment and all this and all that shit is designed around money. Look, I ain't got to do none of this. We need to come together. What we need to do is go up to Washington and tear that motherfucker up.
Can I ask a question?
When we gonna go to war?
I just want
When we
to.
gonna do something about these?
I think we've been at war for the last 300 years, really.
Until he comes back because he's frozen.
Yeah.
Earl, you said we are dead in the issues. If you really want to do something, call you. Well, if you're alive in the issues, how come you haven't been making this big giant impact on Black people? If what you're doing is so successful, why don't we know about it? I mean, all four of us were pretty well versed. We read a thing or two. So how come we haven't read about?
Oh man, this thing is horrible tonight.
We hear you.
Yeah. Oh, but that
Well, my thing is,
go ahead, Donovan.
Yeah, just real quick. My thing with Earl Jones is, like I said, I'm 50. He's a few years older than me. I don't trust no baby boomers because you guys have not done a damn thing to teach the next generation how to move forward. Y'all got y'all butter biscuits. I'd like some honey on that. So you guys are in no position to tell me what I need to do when you guys are the one that put me in that position. And not you specifically, Earl, but I just get tired of you baby boomers who should have sat your ass down 20 years ago so that other generations could come up and get jobs, but y'all got the federal job, y'all got the military pay, y'all raising our grandkids, and then you have the nerve to tell us we don't know what the hell we doing. Come on now, man. Sit down and let new leadership come up. Now I'm through.
I'll say I'm a baby boomer. So I'm not going to take too offense to that. I mean, I'm 59, so I'm not going to take too offense to that. But I think in a way, yeah, the baby boomers in our community have let us down because that dream that I think Dr. King talked about, it went somewhere between 75 and 80 and never came back. It just didn't come back. And I don't know what happened. Like I said, I was in the military at the time, so I was dealing with a whole nother different issue, But, when I look back at where I came from the neighborhood I came from and how it was a family-oriented neighborhood, I knew what the Black agenda was at that time. That's why I'm saying, we know what the Black agenda was from our generation. But the Black agenda that we're talking about, is that the same Black agenda that they're talking about? Because it doesn't seem to be the same agenda. And if we don't know the same agenda, then we're all working in different years of Black agendas. We are. We got our Black agenda. We know how we should be pushing our nation forward. What we should be doing to strengthen and bring us back economically, and socially. But then you got the others, what we call the Gen X's and the millennials. That's just like, I just want to have fun. And then when I get like 50 and 60, I'm gonna find God.
Well, and I know Donovan wasn't talking about your sector of the baby boomers. I get his frustration. I just didn't want to say it because I knew Donovan was going to say it.
Yeah,
it is I would say the older baby boomers who got to eat and drink and sleep next to white people, and that was it for them.